So Ben, tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, and how you got to SalesRabbit.
Yeah, you bet. So Ben Nettesheim, been in marketing my whole career, SaaS marketing specifically my whole career. I came to SalesRabbit 8 years ago. It's been an awesome, fun journey. I was attracted to field sales and the way that marketing could influence field sales for sure. I've been in field sales as well. I've sold door to door. I've done the whole deal. So it's been fun to watch that and be able to have an influence on that.
Awesome. So Ben, you're a SaaS CMO, but you spend a lot of time on the doors with hearing team leads and how they are in the field. What's the most misunderstood thing about marketing in door to door?
One of the most, I think, is the influence it can have. A lot of times reps or teams will go out and just start hitting doors without the preparation ahead of time. That's where I think marketing can have a big influence and can sway how things go, both in the approach, how you're received, how you're presented, how you're looked at, all of the above. Marketing can have a giant influence in that.
Yeah. In most orgs, marketing is a brand play or ad spend, but in field sales, marketing looks more like a rep at the door or a yard sign on the street, a well-timed referral or postcard. How should teams be thinking about marketing differently?
Yeah, again, I think it's part of the presentation. So if you look at marketing, you certainly want to do your research. That's part of marketing. Knowing who you're going to, what you're going to be presenting, and then the brand image, what you're looking like. Do you look the part? Do you feel like a professional that could talk the talk? And then what's that message? That's part of marketing as well. How are you presenting yourself? Are you doing it in a way that does it in a way that builds trust? And then what's your storytelling? If you're going up and just pitching a product and features, you may have some tough times. But if you're going up and using that brand image, using some storytelling, you're going to have a lot more success because there's then an emotional response to that. And that's where you connect, and that's where you can build trust, and that's where you can get the sale.
Yeah. So let's say I'm a regional manager with 3 teams in 3 states. What is something simple I could implement today to make my reps more visible or trusted?
I think something that you could do today is that preparation, again, ahead of time. Have you dressed the part? Do you look like what your brand should be looking like or your industry should look like? So that preparation ahead of time. Have you gone through and done one-on-one role playing or trying out different scenarios and testing out rejections and how that comes across? I feel like all of that is part of marketing because you have to hit a certain number of touch points in order to build that trust. And some of those include how you look, what you say, how you say it, knowing about who you're going after. All of those I think come together and can help. So all of those I think are quick things that you could do ahead of time that would influence.
Yeah, I think especially with what reps are wearing, right? If someone's dress is very sloppy at the door and there's no, a lot of reps will do, polos or band collars with the logo and it feels very clean, crisp, and professional, You're more likely to open your door.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or even if, depending on the industry that you're in. I mean, I had a great experience where someone came to my door and they looked the part. They were doing pest. They were selling pest. He didn't look like even a salesman. He looked like he had just been doing a round of pest control at one of the neighbors here close by. I knew what he was doing, but when he came in, he looked the part, he felt the part, and I had a good 20-minute conversation with him. We were in the backyard looking at my pest stuff because he looked the part. He looked like someone that could take care of my pests.
There you go. How important are rep photos, local testimonials, or branded leave-behinds in the trust game?
Huge. What do they say? The old adage is you need like 7 touch points before people are on board, before they remember you, before it influences. So however you can get that, whether it's within imagery like a postcard or a signage or even digital ads, or anything like that. Anything that can build that so that by the time you as the salesperson is coming and presenting at the door, that there's already connections. 'Cause I've either seen that logo or I've heard of it before. Those touch points have already started, so that trust or that at least that familiarity has already started.
Great. And what would be a top maybe 2 or 3 underutilized marketing tactic you see that you will find in the field?
Yeah, so much of field sales a lot of time is on the local level. So getting in locally, I think, is huge before your sales reps have reached out. And you can do that a lot of different ways. I think SEO is underutilized. Like, build it, and there's lots of help guides out there. If you search for SEO help in field sales, you definitely can find them. And building your brand around those locales will help a lot as people search and find your solution, and then you can send out reps to those areas. Even just signage, like get in local signage, whether it's at the local high school or elementary school, anything, again, that helps people become familiar with your brand before your sales reps have to present the brand, I think goes a long way.
Brand awareness is key. And
Yeah,
even
I
it
think
starts
so.
before you even get your reps out into the field.
I think it's huge. I mean, great if you get it after as well for follow-ups, but if you can get them familiar with the brand, so it's a known entity, or at least some, I feel like I've seen that before, yeah, I think you're one step ahead of the game.
All right. Okay, if you were a team owner and had $1,000 for marketing this month, how would you spend it? Would it be social ads, yard signs, content, email auto? If you had $1,000.
Yeah, that's such a hard question because it really depends. It depends on your industry, for one. If you're going with roofing, and we want to spend $1,000 on marketing, let's do something local again. So you want to build some local awareness for you. Let's send out both. One thing that you can do on digital is be super hyper geolocated within your target groups. So say, hey, I know we're going to hit this area. Build that out, whether you're using Google or Facebook or Stack Adapt kind of follows a whole, allows you to use a bunch of different channels. But you can get really local and say, hey, let's just look at this group. Let them know we're going to have reps in the area and that we're happy to assist. Great. Have them go to your website if you have something built in there as a lead form. Even better, you've now prepped them and you can flag those within your CRM so that when they hit those areas, they're hitting those first and then building from there. And then, yeah, you could even do something like investing in snail mail. It'll have Posty or Lob or something like that. Get those into their hands, again, ahead of time. Or after the fact, hey, we came through your area, we may have missed you, or we did. You could set it up based on if you made a contact or not and have the reps follow up information on it as well. So I would say any or all of those would be good options for a roofer. Yeah.
Multi-touch point.
Yeah, if you can. If you can stretch your budget. You said 1,000, right? Yeah, you got to stretch your budget a little, but you could make it happen.
Awesome. So let's shift gears more into reps as marketers. And a lot of individuals and business owners might not think of their reps as marketers, right? They might think of them purely as sales reps. So when we look at reps, probably, like I said, don't think of themselves as marketers, but in a way they are probably the most important part of the brand. So what advice would you give to reps to level up how they present themselves? I know we talked a little bit about, their uniform and things of that nature, being approachable at the doors. Anything else?
Yeah, those for sure, as well as, again, prepping ahead of time. So knowing who it is that you're going to. If you can get the information about them ahead of time, awesome. Know their first name so you can talk to them. Get your referrals so you can say, I talked to a neighbor XYZ, and they recommended I come through this area and see if anyone else needs what they have. So yeah, that rep, that salesperson, a lot of time is going to be the first face that they see. Even if you're doing marketing ahead of time in sales material or marketing material, a lot of times the first actual person that they meet may be that rep. So yeah, they're a face for the company, the first face a lot of times for the company. So how they present themselves, how do they talk about the solution that you have, much more on benefits than on features. So how does this affect your daily life? And how can you live a life that's, you know, more at ease, more peace of mind because you've gone with the solution rather than hitting on, you know, features and whatnot. I think will go a long way. Again, the person they're the first face usually, or a lot of times. So having them present in a way that reflects the company, I think is huge.
How important is a clean pitch and those branded materials when it comes to rep presentation?
Well, they're huge. You typically don't get multiple chances, right? You're there. You got to put your best foot forward. If you haven't prepped ahead of time, you're not ready for the conversation, ready for the objections. You're just going to have a tough time at it.
Yeah,
so yeah, it's huge. That preparation ahead of time is huge. Yeah.
When we talk about recruiting and how recruitment is marketing, recruiting reps is a marketing problem. A lot of times, a lot of business owners face that. What are some smart door-to-door organizations doing differently to stand out to recruits?
Well, first of all, if you don't have to recruit as much, that's preferred, obviously.
Yeah.
Keep your reps around, and how do you do that? You help them have success, and you implement things like contests, gamification, stuff like that. That draws a sense of belonging as well as challenge, and boosts all boats in that sense, and will create success. So that's what I would say first. Build a culture where they want to stay. Obviously, no one's going to stay forever. You got to do recruiting. Everyone's going out and doing recruiting. So yeah, again, you got to be able to present your brand in a way that is desirable to those that you want on your team. Hit those spots where you see a higher propensity to come on board, whether that's at universities or within certain trades. If you're within roofing and home improvement or something like that, yeah, you gotta go to where they are.
Meet them where they're at.
Exactly.
What kind of content actually resonates with Gen Z reps? You know, we see we have Gen Z coming up into the workforce. A lot of times they're coming earlier and earlier, right? In high school, when they're 16 or 17, they'll go knock for a summer.
Yeah.
And what kind of content is going to be resonating to them?
Yeah, I would go heavy on video. Catch them on video, whether it's Instagram or TikTok. Yeah, I would go heavy there and keep it short form where you can. If you do go long form, go to something like YouTube for help videos or things that will help them develop and grow. Yeah, I would go video all the way.
And what's one mistake you see door-to-door companies making when trying to recruit on social media?
I haven't seen a lot of that. So I don't know. I haven't seen a ton on that one.
The things I've seen is like they try to be too flashy.
Interesting.
They try to do like the six-figure summer, and they start throwing like the Lamborghini or Corvette around. Anyways, all right. So we talk a lot about content that doesn't just sell the job, but sells the lifestyle. Mm-hmm. What does that mean for door to door? Or maybe that goes into the last question.
No, I think it. Yeah, I mean, it takes a certain breed certainly to do field sales, to do door to door. And there's a certain lifestyle that comes with it. Of course, the hard work that's needed behind it, as well as what you get out of it. If you're a hard worker and you have success, you're gonna make some bank, and that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, sell the whole picture. Yep, it's gonna be hard. Yep, you can have success, and yeah, this is what success can look like. So.
Awesome. Okay, so our last little segment, and it's just hot takes and tactical advice. So just a bunch of one-liners. So I'm going to ask you like 5 or 6 questions, and then just give me your first thought that comes to mind.
Okay.
So, yard signs, is it still worth it?
Yes. I mean, touch points again. You got to get at least 7 if you're going to stick in someone's mind. So sure, let that be one of the 7.
Instagram or TikTok for rep branding?
Everyone's going TikTok these days, right? If you're younger, go TikTok. If you're maybe skewing a little older, go Instagram.
We talked about this. Is direct mail or snail mail dead or underused?
I'd say underused. Again, use it as a touch point. Use it to either prep ahead of time or to follow up.
Okay. And what's one thing every team should stop doing in their marketing?
I think everyone should stop selling features. You got to go with the story. You got to build a story and you got to create emotion around it. So if you're just selling, this is what my product does and here's the features of it, or this is what you get from it, it's such a harder sell than if you can sell the benefits of it and tell a story behind it and get an emotional connection.
Mm-hmm. I agree. For 2026, what is one bold prediction you have for field sales and marketing in 2026?
And in a world where there's so much AI, I think people are going to start craving the one-on-one interactions because you start to not have them as much. Field sales is a one-on-one interaction. I think it could be refreshing to be able to talk to someone who is an expert in the field, get some advice on it, talk about options, and not do it through a chat service that's non-human. So that's my prediction. Watch for it to continue to grow in 2026 because of that. So.
And what content would you film if you ran a team of 50 reps right now?
Go for some testimonials, case studies. If you've got a team that big, you've had some success, get that documented so that people can see that. The sell is so much easier if they can see the story of someone that's had success, how they had success, and how that benefited them in the end. So that'd be my recommendation there. Get some testimonials and get a videographer and editor and get that right.
Definitely agree. Well, awesome, Ben. Well, thanks for sitting down with us and
you
being able
bet.
to grab some time and be able to talk about how companies can improve their marketing.
Yeah, it's been fun. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much, and we'll see you on the next one.